Hello and welcome to another episode. It's officially a show now. Let's all go to the trailers. This is episode 4. I am again joined by Mr. Kyle Bosman.
Hello, everybody.
And Mr. Ryan Stevens.
Hi, who are you?
I'm Brandon Jones.
Nice.
Thank you. It's always good to introduce myself. And the premise of the show is simple. We watch trailers, we talk about them, we tell you what trailers to watch. Sometimes we want to talk about games too, maybe just a little bit, but I always start with the trailers.
That's my fault.
Right. Ryan always tries to drag the game and stuff into it. To kick it off, we're going to talk about this fun video game here, this Guardians of the Galaxy game that's coming out.
Oh no, Media Black. What are you doing? I can't watch this.
These graphics look amazing.
Yeah.
This is really great. No, we'll stick to the game trailers, Kyle. God, thanks, party pooper. So right off the bat is a premiere for Chroma from Harmonix, which I love everything Harmonix does. This seems like a super huge gamble, but also could be kind of fun.
Yeah, the opening of this trailer kind of reminded me of the opening of when you started Metal Gear Solid 4 with like the weird kind of affected TV stuff. Mm-hmm. And from what I'm getting from this is that it's I know this is all like concept stuff, but it's a shooter with music kind of tied in because it's a Harmonix.
You can see the environment kind of bumping around.
And
to the
beat. I'm not it's funny how it kind of goes from like trance music to like dubstep in like one fell swoop. But I'm down. I think Harmonix are good guys, and Rez is like probably in my top 10 favorite games of all time, which is kind of another musical shooter. But this looks competitive. I know it sounds weird, but I kind of get a hybrid vibe from this. That game that the guys who did Scribblenauts, Fitcell did, which was the zero gravity weird shooter. And I think it's time for people to kind of explore that space in new areas, and I think the aesthetic looks really dope.
I feel the opposite to Ryan, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Harmonix might be a great team, but this is a stupid trailer. This trailer is so dumb.
But if Kojima had made this, you would have liked it.
Kojima wouldn't make this trailer.
The stuff he would have made right here.
You know, a really common design thing
it's that a TV show.
Makes me immediately checked out, and this is so picky and dumb, but this is the show for picky and dumb. When people make the eyes too high up on a head, kills me. And look at how high this guy's eyes are.
His head is a mirror face.
I know, but it's it makes for an effect. Like, he's got a big, long jaw. Like, that just looks, every time a character has that, it looks dumb to me.
That's it? That's the first thing that you're going to say going out of the gate?
Yeah, that's what the show's about, I think.
Eyes are too high.
Yeah, well, just fix that thing, lower the eyes, and your character will look cooler.
I thought you were going to say it's too shiny or something like that.
It's not too shiny. It's good. The shiny is good. It's just who wants this?
I will say this.
Me?
This trailer is way better than the trailer that first came out for Fantasia Music Evolved, which is literally just fireworks.
And where is that game?
And people, yeah, exactly. And people in front of a green screen waving their hands.
Oh, it's Hidden Path. Okay, wow.
And I like that in this they specifically say not actual gameplay. They show you a little bit of kind of like these two people competing against each other, so you get a sense of how the gameplay is going to work, as opposed to Fantasia just being it's modern music and just dancing and sparkles and fun. And this is a little more demonstrative of this is actually what the game that we're making. So I appreciate that from Harmonix.
Wait, what can you tell us about that team that you noted?
Honestly, I can tell you that I had emails and that was in someone's signature. So I was like, that looks familiar. I have nothing really good to. That was just a coincidence that popped into my head.
I do think the trailer should go on a little bit longer. It kind of like when you're saying when the dubstep kicks in, I want it to kind of start kicking ass.
They're calling it a teaser. I don't know if that's fair. I mean, I don't know. I've been so knee deep in this crap for so long. I give teasers a little bit of leeway in that regard.
I just think it's a little too much build up for a little too little payoff.
Right. But, if you wrote down what happens, they each take one shot at each other, and then she kills them.
Oh, so it's like Modern Warfare.
Or Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Maybe there's two shots at each other, but it is you're not showing what's fun about your game. You're showing what the style is about your game.
I give this trailer a 6. Kyle? Take all
I'm sorry.
day.
I'm sorry.
Is that like in a Japanese game when you talk to someone and it just says ...
It is.
Mew, the stony sound of silence.
That got
mewed.
That was Kyle Bosman loading time
so,
right there.
I do jokey scores, but I always really actually think about them. This is a 1.3.
Wow.
I'd probably agree with you on the 6. I'm excited for the game, but the trailer, I think the beginning stuff's actually kind of corny, and the aesthetic stuff's okay, but it's teasers. It didn't get me overly excited until I read more into it. But the trailer itself, I think, the text explains a little bit, but again, I'm not sure if it goes enough to drive hype from a visual standpoint or from a actually conveying information to you standpoint.
for you, Ryan, I included Dark Souls this week. Unfortunately, this
media
is,
blackout. I'm not gonna watch this.
Are you? You can say that if you want to.
No.
but unfortunately, did you guys watch this trailer? This is the
Yeah.
worst narrator you could have ever possibly
this is
picked.
not a good trailer. And they're like reusing some assets and stuff like that. This is them, I think, being like, games coming out, we want to be releasing more stuff. We've seen this with bigger games. They're trying to handle this game like a big AAA game. And I like the good example I can think is like the Gears of War 2 and 3, like the week leading up to it, they were releasing a new trailer dev diary like every day. They were really trying to ride that wave. And this game is a game that's been trying to hold back. They're trying to hold back stuff. So I think there's a couple of new shots and stuff like that. Like there's some good stuff, but overall I don't think it's a really effective trailer for people who've been following the game, even though there's still something you'd probably want to watch unless you are on a media blackout.
My personal version of eyes that are too high in the face are trailers that cut back and forth between stuff that has bars on it and stuff that doesn't. Stuff that's like really scrunched and stuff that's full.
Did that bug
full
you when
screen.
you watched Dark Knight, the one after Batman Begins?
Did he go back and forth?
Well, they
between
had
the
that
two?
super wide camera, so there were some black bars for like the stuff that wasn't the IMAX to what was the IMAX. I never even noticed. Marco had to point it out to me.
Wow, no, I didn't pick that
kinda
up. So I
crazy.
guess, yeah, this bothers me because it does that a lot. And getting back to the voiceover guy, because I like to talk about voiceover. But I think this guy's not necessarily bad. Like in general, he's just a very poor pick for the nature of kind
not
of
the
what
right
we're looking
tone.
at here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine you'd need someone very old, very British, very European, very.
Well, no, it's funny though because Dark Souls, because I'm a stupid person. They I think for the Demon Souls and Dark Souls, they got most of their voice talent, I think, from Scotland originally, and it wasn't like the real haggis-eating Scottish brogue, but it was like accented. And this time around, I know they got the guy from Spaced, one of the and Shaun of the Dead. They have that characters in there, so they're I think branching out to more people and more ethnicities for voice acting.
But yeah, you brought up that it's kind of a trailer just to pad the trailer library,
I mean,
It links back to the first game, which is okay as well because we haven't really seen too much of that. But overall, it's not my favorite.
right, does this confirm that those environments are in this game? Is that what that's talking about?
Well, it's like they just showed like Nito right there, the giant skull guy. I think they're just trying to convey like that this is a sequel, which has been kind of the thing that's been very loosely addressed.
So when you think about like the purpose of the trailer, to me this is like based on like what his weird little monologue is about. It's like that stupid like this is a hard game. It's kind of like acknowledging it's a hard game. Like it's not about dying, it's about learning from dying. Is like something he says. So that's like what this trailer is about, right? To like encourage people who are on the fence maybe to like stop being a weenie about it and hop in. Is that
Sure.
the idea?
I don't know.
Okay.
Marketing.
Yeah, you're right.
I like to have trailers of all forms on the show just so we can talk about the good and the bad. And this again, like you were saying, not a lot of new footage and the voiceover doesn't really match. I give this trailer a 4.
Wow.
I'm gonna be agreeable. More 4.
So 4 I think is Brandon's lowest score.
That
on the
probably would
show.
be my lowest, yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, now 4 episodes in, who's counting anymore? We're throwing scores out just like.
5. I'll give this one a 5.
Oh wow.
Average.
5 is never average.
And to wrap up the show, we have one that I don't think there was any question we were going to take a look at this because this was extremely bizarre that we got something like this. A console comparison not made by us, but made by the actual people making the game. What do you think about this, Mr. Stevens?
It looks like us on our best day, like some of our better console comparisons back in the day. I think it's a little curious. I mean, the actual, I guess like we're looking at it right now with the swipe. It's fun that you can see the difference. I think obviously they didn't put the new next-gen consoles pit each other against each other in a more direct way. It was more last-gen to current-gen.
I mean, right there we're looking at all of them at the same time.
Yeah, but it's not doing like the swipey thing. You know,
Sure.
it's a little hard to see the minutia. I think it's interesting, like you said, from just that they put this out at all. It's interesting. I'm curious who they had, like, who knows the backstory on this stuff. But overall, it's more Metal Gear stuff. But it wasn't. In the end, it wasn't that interesting to me. But a lot of times, I haven't found a lot of console comparisons interesting to me. Even when I read the Digital Foundry stuff over at like Eurogamer, where they're talking about like decimal points of frames. I don't know if I personally care all that much, but it's really well put together. other than the typo that we have to fix.
This video is kind of
Fixed.
reaffirming because like doing comparisons can be really tough sometimes, especially for games with really wide environments with changing times of day, and you really want to get those images to look the same. I remember we did it for Grand Theft Auto 5. It was kind of we're pulling our hair out between like, no, don't get, like one guy would get hit by a car and the other guy would like knock like a mailbox over. And so when this doesn't necessarily sync up 100%, it makes me feel really good because it's like, not even Konami can put together a completely flawless in-engine thing, which is kind of nice actually that this wasn't something that they wrote a camera sequence to do this, that you can actually tell it's a guy playing the game and trying to match up these shots. I like the judging the frame rate in the end when he has Snake running. I thought that was interesting, something we don't really focus on, like slowing down footage and seeing how the systems perform, seeing how the frames blend. I thought this was a really interesting addition to the comparison, something that you can look a little more closely at.
We're at 4th speed.
Excited, Kyle?
This trailer is huge. This is, I think, one of the biggest trailers we've seen this year in the sense of what it does. This is the trailer that it's I've never seen anything like this, where a publisher is just saying, this is how the 4 different versions of our game look. And they're willing to say, the PlayStation 4 version looks incredibly better than the other ones.
And we haven't talked about that. I mean, that's a landslide win, I think, for this video, right, Ryan?
We should recut this thing. Honestly,
No,
What would you change?
Re-juxtapose certain clips.
Together,
I think it'd be interesting. Again, I would agree with Kyle. I think kind of like, I'm going to sound like a jerk, but from like a meta level, it is just so interesting that this was made.
But do you think the PlayStation 4 version looks better?
A little.
I think there's more of a difference. I don't know if I can necessarily tell one looks better, but there definitely is.
I'm being honest here. This is like back in college when they showed us a 24-bit image and a 24-bit image and like a 32-bit
That's
image.
a 24 and a 32 to you?
That's PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. That's
Right.
not Xbox One.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
mean between Xbox One and PlayStation 4?
Yeah, that's what he asked.
Okay.
So I think it's easier to spot differences than actually claim what's better sometimes. But maybe I'm just an idiot.
I think officially you two are idiots on this one.
I'm just saying
The way it's cut,
Well, here's
I
what
don't-
I'm saying, Kyle. I'm saying there's a clear difference
Yeah.
between there's a bigger difference to me visually from the PS3 to the PS4 than there is from the 360 to the Xbox One. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the PS4 is like way better than the Xbox One. It's just I'm seeing the biggest difference between the PlayStation consoles.
Yeah.
There's also the deal of the blacks and the.
If it was
the
Vegas, I'd
Xbox
put
is
my money on the
still-
PS4, but I just don't know.
The IREs on the blacks is always the thing too between the Japanese manufactured hardware and Western developed hardware.
So another weird thing about this trailer, only PS4 has the no cloud sky. So that's a really interesting thing, I think. I guess there's like it's a very dynamic like lighting and just like so we have our sweet sky on the PlayStation 4 that the other skies don't have.
I'm wondering if that's just one of the weather things, like how there's day and night and rain and stuff.
Oh no, Kojima said he's like, hey, I got a different like weather
Gotcha.
lighting structure on the PlayStation 4 than the other ones still have. Does that even matter or register to you two?
No. I mean, I wasn't looking at this thing as
Look at that beautiful sky.
I kind of watched this once.
And then this one has all these clouds in the skybox. I don't know. This is a crazy thing. This isn't like has not been done before.
So I think for all of you, users out there in community land, like this is weird to us. I'm sure this is weird to Konami. Like there's nothing usual about this.
Yeah.
We're not trying to pass this off like business as usual. Like this is an extremely bizarre trailer to get from Konami. And I think it's weird for them too. I think they made this because they themselves are wondering which is the more powerful system. How will this game hold up? I'm sure this answers, questions for them as well. I don't think it's something where they know definitively, which console will run better. I think they probably got a big kick out of putting this video together. And so it's always fun, like that. You were saying this is probably one of the most important trailers we've gotten this year so far. So
Yeah.
definitely something we want to talk about on the show. And you should definitely check it out if you have not already. So that is that's the weekend trailers. I was thinking maybe adding something new to the show. Oh, I'm sorry. We want to grade.
Gotta give it a
We got to grade.
Yeah.
It's a 9.5.
Whoa!
I give that a 9.5. I like the sound effects on the wipes. I thought that was really effective. That's something that we never do. I think the
I
shots.
actually didn't get to watch it with sound.
That's such a cool detail.
funny
to
story.
I
know.
think the
That's so
shots
funny.
were picked really well. I think it wasn't repetitive in how they laid all the shots out. I think they kind of changed it up and where they positioned all the shots. I like the music. I think that game looks really nice. Loved it.
That's your highest score too.
Oh yeah, you're
that's-
paying attention. I can't get anything past you, Boz.
I'll give it a 9.1. It's a very important trailer, but of all the things that we like trailers to do, it doesn't do any of those. But it's just such an interesting. The story of this trailer is more interesting than the trailer itself to me.
It did make me want to play the game just a little bit more.
Really?
Not a lot more, but definitely more.
Cool.
The meter went up. Mr. Stevens.
I think it's definitely an interesting curiosity, but again, we always talk about this when we choose trailer of the year. Once a game comes out, the trailers lose so much impact.
Wow,
Of course.
that's very
A lot.
true.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I feel like this is, again, perhaps not the best quote-unquote trailer, but it's really interesting and definitely worth everyone's time to go watch. I don't see this getting a trailer nod at the end of the year.
Oh, and you should
Right.
download it. If you're on our site, you should click the download link to watch this trailer. And
We got it 15 or 10 megabit, 1080p, 60 frames.
Big file. No jokey scores from you this week, Mr. Stevens.
14.1.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Someone called him
Yeah,
out
it means a
last
lot
week.
now.
Someone
Oh,
said Ryan was
I-
copying Conan last week.
Oh, his jokey scores?
Yeah, he got called out.
Yeah, that's what happens. I have TBS.
Stealing
He's
content
on
from
TBS,
Arrested
right?
Development and now Conan O'Brien. This is
I don't
not.
think he does it on his show. I think it's only those online videos. I don't even.
Gotcha.
Well, that's over. I guess you ran out of material. So just normal scores from
I
Mr.
think there's
Stevens.
an infinite amount of numbers in the universe.
I'm sticking to your 8. You can't go back on your score. So those are our 3 trailers. What do we think about possibly for this show picking a trailer of the week? The trailer that we like the most. No, is that
I
stupid?
don't even like giving scores.
Oh
so.
shoot! I wish you prepared me. I would have. You mean of the
Well,
three
it's
that
of
we
these
just
3.
watched?
I mean, I picked the 3 trailers I think are
Oh.
the most interesting.
Ground Zeroes all day. Trailer of the week.
Okay, it's
Yeah,
probably an
Ground Zeroes.
easy pick this week, but we'll see if we can award that next week and if that holds any relevance or if we forget to do it and then
I imagine
5 shows later, oh yeah, we did that once.
someday there's gonna be a trailer that has a little medallion at the end that said Brandon Jones's trailer of the week. It's gonna appear on
February
boxes.
26, 2014. So we got 2 more trailers I want to talk about that you should also check out. Transformers: Rise of the Darkspark. What is this? Is this a sequel to
gosh.
the last Transformers game? Is this a Michael Bay weird thing?
Is this tied to the new movie? Is Grimrock in it?
No, so
Grimlock?
it's the Michael Bay universe and the Cybertron universe mashed together. Both of those universes exist within this universe.
Because I was gonna say that looks like the movie Bumblebee, but that looks like the Starscream from
Yeah,
the
or
game.
for Cybertron. Yeah. Back to the
Okay,
movie.
cool. Well, then my interest in that game, my meter just went down.
Next.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why we're not talking about it.
No Dinobots, no sale.
But what is it? Peter something? What's his name? The guy who does the voice
Sellers?
of Peter Sellers is exactly who I'm talking about. The infamous voice of Optimus Prime.
Oh, okay.
I want to see Peter Cushing, but that's an actor.
I think there are
the
Dinobots,
guy,
by the way.
the guy who does the voice of Optimus Prime is in this, so you at least have that for this trailer. If you're down, want to look a little more VO from Optimus. And then there's the Boom Boom trailer for Wolfenstein, which, if you were curious about the plot for A New Order, this kind of gets into more of what actually not only happens with the Nazis taking over, but specifically my boy, BJ Blazkowicz. And kind of his struggles and his journey in this game.
I actually have to take the 5th on this one. I'm under embargo.
Ooh.
Oh.
So
Even under the trailer? You can't talk about
I
the
think
trailer.
I think I'd be too swayed. The one thing I'd say is I'm getting this stuff is less realistic than the weird Uncanny Valley stuff from the Medal of Honor game that came out a couple years ago.
They're action figures.
But I'm kind of getting that vibe, but I think it actually works. It's less offensive here. It still looks more affected than the weird kind of dead taxidermed people. I think it's an interesting art style choice for the cutscenes.
Mr. Bosman, any interest in Wolfenstein?
Not too much. I like the tone it sets up. It is at least unique in what it's going for, but I don't want to saw some guy's head off with a chainsaw.
So yeah, them's all the trailers this week. Thank you guys so much for coming in again and chatting about this stuff. And I'll pick 3 more, and we'll be back next week. See you later.
Toodles.